All right, hello everybody, Zaxtorian here with another video. If you've seen the title of this video, you've probably already seen that Cook Dungeon here, made by developer Lucky Star Studio, in all caps for some reason. This video has made M.I.S.S number 79, and you're looking at this game, and you're probably going, Zax, why? This looks totally like your type of game, especially since you've been playing a lot of action RPGs lately. That's exactly what this is. Why the hell would Cook Dungeon, a game that comes in at a very small price tag, just $1.99 or 30% off its first week, for this game for under $2, guys? And you know, it plays decent. I can tell you that. I've already played it for a whole 0.1 hours, and the game plays decent. So why is Cook Dungeon making M.I.S.S number 79? Well, let me go ahead and give all you guys that play Steam games and look for Steam games a little bit of a hint about the quality of the games you're buying. Okay, or a red flag, information to look for. If you're seeing a game, if you're browsing the Steam store looking at games or maybe new games that have just come out, and you see a game here with an art style and action, if you look at the the trailer, and you're seeing games that kind of have a play style and an art style that other games are, selling for at least like $7.99, $10.99, $12.99, and you see the game you're looking at coming in at just a couple of bucks, that is a big red flag. What that means is something is probably wrong. This developer is probably not just selling his brand new indie game that he worked hard on for many years or many months or whatever so cheap. Something's probably wrong. We'll be back right after this to talk about that something wrong with Cook Dungeon right after this. Zaxter 99. Alright guys, welcome back. Here we are back with Cook Dungeon. I'm not jumping into the game like I usually do, but I want to go ahead and get right into the problem with this Cook Dungeon by this developer. So when we look at the game, we see that it looks like a pretty decent little game. Even though it looks like a very simple Binding Man Isaac, I can tell you it plays fine. But the problem with this game, guys, is if we go over here to the community hub, we see, oops, let me refresh this because Steam had to give me an error. Well, let's go back. Let's go to discussions again. Let's try this again. We get the Stolen Asset Mega Thread. This game came out 3 days ago on December 11th, and this post is by Callaghan on December 12th, the day after. He was watching somebody play the game on a YouTube video and noticed some very familiar sprites. This developer actually stole sprites from Nintendo. The Pokemon series, guys. The Pokemon series, played by, what, tens of millions of people for years and years and years. This developer actually has the balls to steal artwork from Nintendo. If we look at some of the artwork here, the Enigma Berry right here, we have other artwork which is linked right in this thread, and this thread has already been archived. If anybody's wondering, well, what if he just comes in and deletes the threads like a lot of corrupt developers do? Trust me, this thread has already been archived multiple times. But you have the Tomato Berry. Now, I never played Pokemon, so I wouldn't have known by looking at the game. But then you have the Hondu Berry. There's a list of Pokemon berries for the price and their sprites for reference, so you can come here to look at the references for these different sprites. So you can see here that a lot of these berries have been stolen. Let's take a look at which one are we talking about? Enigma. Let's look at that one. Right here. Yep, Enigma Berry. Berry to be consumed by Pokemon right here. And if we go back, there it is. Right in this game. Completely stolen art, and you could match these up as this Steam user did, Callaghan. And then this guy goes on to say, hey, You're really working with the hornet's nest by including this. Nintendo is infamous for protecting its intellectual property. Damn right they are. Nintendo, if anybody, will go after them, and I think this is very foolish of this developer to steal art from, Nintendo and the Pokemon series of all places. And he continues to find more berries and stuff like that stolen from the Pokemon series. I mean, if you're going to steal one, you might as well steal them all, right? Also, a random Canadian, another Steam user, came in and said that there's also stolen armor sprites from Inflation RPG. And if we come here, we see this in the game. And the original game's Wikipedia. We see that it is right there. You can go to this Wikipedia page and see it. And see the armor and stuff like that, and see that it does indeed match. It's a lot smaller here. See if we can blow it up. No. But anyway, it looked just like that. You can see that this other Steam user. So, to these developers, I mean, you're putting out a game on a platform with like 100 million Steam users, worldwide. And you're going to steal art from games, that gamers play all the time, especially something like Pokemon. And you actually think, you're dense enough to think that people aren't going to see these same sprites and same artwork. And again, Callaghan comes in and finds that enemy sprites in the game were stolen from a free Game Jolt game. So if we go over to Game Jolt here, we see the Vault of Zort, made by Game Jolt user XK@XK. And this is another pretty cool little game. I downloaded this game just to see what it was about, guys, because it is completely free. Real small download, 24 megabytes. Highly recommended if you want a pretty decent little action RPG. This one's not bad, and it's completely free. But the developer actually stole art and enemies from this game. And so what he did is, both these games, guys, are... both of the games, the Game Jolt game here, you can come right here and click on the game if you want it, and just all you have to do is just download it right here. I don't even think you have to sign up or log in or anything. I don't think you do. I think you could just see I'm not logged in. Yep, and I'm downloading it. So you can go download this game without even making a site or signing up or anything. If you want to play any game on Game Jolt, it's free. So what the developer did is he played this game at some point. He liked the artwork and said, oh, I'm going to steal art from this game. I'm going to steal some enemies from this game and use them in my own game. So he just downloaded it. And when you download the game, it opens up in a zip file that you have to unpack. And right there, you can see all the assets used in the game. So since the developer of this game, Cook Dungeon, used Unity as well, he just simply stole the Unity sprite sheets from that game and used those sprites in his own game. Pathetic. I can't understand for the life of me why any developer would steal artwork from Pokemon of all places, but then to steal artwork made by another indie developer with free games on Game Jolt, spending his time and hard work making a free game for people to play on Game Jolt, and you're going to steal his art and put it in your own game, which you're going to charge money for on Steam. I mean, that's theft, guys. We'll go ahead and play this game. You can see I've already played it for 0.1 hours, and you'll see that it is made with Unity here. And who knows where this artwork here comes from as well. I mean, if he stole all the sprites and stuff like that, I can't believe that he actually drew this. So this is probably coming from somewhere. Whether he paid for this or whether he stole this artwork here, I have no idea. This here takes you to the high scores, guys. This exits the game, and then this will play the game. So we go inside the dungeon here, and it's randomly generated. I mean, it's not terrible as far as the layout, but guys, with him stealing, all or most of the artwork for the game, it wouldn't surprise me if this whole game is just, a kit that he ripped off somewhere, a tutorial, or the code is something he stole from somewhere else. It is pretty simplistic in design. I mean, it's only $2, and it is really a simple, Binding of Isaac. It's a poor man's Binding of Isaac, if you would. But I mean, everything functions. The keys are responsive and all that good stuff. Every time you come to the shopkeeper, it looks like he has different things that you can purchase for different amounts of gold. So it is randomly generated there. And I mean, it's definitely not going to be anything as good as Binding of Isaac. but it does work, and you get loot and stuff like that. These are traps, and we have, like, we can come over here. There's a door here, so it, you know, sometimes it's too hard. Sometimes there's way too many enemies to possibly be able to conquer. It feels like to me in a room like there, we had 3 up rushing me as soon as I entered that door. So I feel like the game doesn't have a lot of game balance, but like I said, it probably can be beaten. I don't care to play it because I know that this developer had, is a thief, and he just stole all his own artwork. So I don't want to give him the time of day, and I can't tell you guys as my viewers what you should do. You guys are free to make your own actions, but I can tell you just from playing this for a few minutes that there are much better action RPGs than this one, even if they do cost a little bit more. So, go buy the original Binding of Isaac. We have the Steam Winter Sale coming up on Steam here in just a few days. I'm sure it'll be marked down pretty low in price, for the Binding of Isaac series. You can play a game like Heroes of Hammerwatch, which is a great action RPG that I've played recently, several hours. Love that game, and the ability to play that game with up to 4 players co-op makes it a winner. And I think it's $11.99, but again, it'll probably be on sale during the winter sale here in a few days. You could just do a lot better than this if you're just looking for a good game, and why support a developer who's going to steal artwork from Nintendo with Pokemon and steal artwork from, indie developers who are putting out free games over on GameJolt. Just pathetic to me. I mean, if I go into Walmart or Target and I steal a pair of jeans or, a package of socks or whatever, from one of these retail locations and I get caught, I could face big fines and I could face jail time. It should really be no different with developers who are stealing artwork, knowingly stealing artwork to place in their own game, especially free games. That's what's even worse than stealing artwork from Pokemon to me, is this developer actually stole artwork from, that was made by a developer who put up a free game on GameJolt just to, try to share his game for free. And this guy comes along and steals his enemy sprites and puts them in his own game to charge money for. Absolutely pathetic. This guy here, Lucky Star Studio, is a thief. He's corrupt as hell, and he's not even responding to the forums, where his actions are being caught right in front of him. I mean, he really has no response. The developer, yes, he could delete this whole thread. As a developer, you could certainly delete a thread, but that would just make it even more obvious that he's just trying to hide stuff. And I guarantee you, like I said, this thread's already been archived and backed up. And it's being backed up right here on this video as well. People can see this thread right here. So if he does ever delete the thread, it is still on here. Don't be stealing artwork and code and everything like that online with, if you're an indie dev, because there's so many gamers around the world. You're bound to get caught. You're bound to be busted. People have seen a lot of these sprites over and over and over again. And to me, guys, I can't understand why the developer would steal artwork like this anyway, because you could find a whole bunch of great art very similar to this that's completely free, and you wouldn't be a thief for. You look around the internet, you look for free art. There is a ton of royalty-free art that is very similar in nature to the graphics of this game. You don't need to be stealing it. Like I said, there's a ton of royalty-free art that you could use. Some of it doesn't actually ask for credits in your game. You might have to credit it, but at least you're taking the high ground here, and you're not, you're not stealing art from other games. Absolutely pathetic. And guys, with this, I mean, if he's willing to steal all this art, I wouldn't be surprised at all if this developer stole, like I said, code from a tutorial or code from some other user in some other similar indie game, or just, ripped off a dungeon explorer on Unity or something like that and just use that as a base foundation and play. It's probably what he did. He probably got a free or really cheap dungeon crawler on Unity that generates all the dungeons for him, and he probably just replaced all the art in that cheap Unity dungeon crawler that he bought or got free. He probably just replaced all the art with his stolen art and then uploads it to Steam. That wouldn't surprise me at all. In fact, I wouldn't doubt at all this developer did very little work and just bought a base dungeon crawler on Unity, and we may find that in the coming days. That this actually is just a asset kit dungeon crawler on Unity for either free or cheap that the developer used, and then he just replaced a lot of the art with stolen art and then uploaded it as his own game. Guys, I am very distrusting of any developer that does these kind of things, that either is an asset flipper or that steals art or steals, code or whatever. Anytime a developer takes these kind of corrupt actions or sells asset flips or whatever for 99 cents or $1.99 on Steam, I'm very distrusting that the developer we see as a name is actually the real developer. Many times, these kind of developers have an array of different names. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is actually just one of 8 or 10 different developer names, all owned by the same guy. For the life of me, I can't understand why Steam can't figure out that, hey, these 8 different names on Steam are all the same first and last name. I don't know why Steam hasn't put in a check for that, to check and make sure that, if you're a developer, you should have to go with one name and one name only. You shouldn't be allowed to have, many different alternate names to sell games under. As a developer, you should have to have a consistency of having the same developer name. And I hope that Steam at some point puts that into place. But guys, Cook Dungeon, a thief, as we've already seen, gets a big fat 0. If I give somebody who buys a bunch of assets and mashes them together into a big incohesive mess to sell on Steam a 0, this guy who's a thief who hasn't even bought these assets and the rights to use them, damn sure gets a 0. This is the other zeros that I give developers for mashing together assets in what I call a asset reliance stinky mess or whatever, ARSM. Those developers get a big fat 0 for doing what they do. This guy deserves a gigantic, massive, golem-sized 0. You are pathetic, Mr. Developer behind Lucky Star Studio. You are... Never mind. I'm not even going to go there, guys. You guys can finish it down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of this developer trying to make a quick buck off of Nintendo's art, off of other indie game developers' art in his own game. This has been Zaxtor99 with M.I.S.S number 79. Have a good one out there. We'll be back soon, everybody. Take care.